Om. 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 Om Brahmanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gaganasadrisham Tattvamasyadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Satgurum Tam Namami श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। ॐ श्रीकृष्ण परमात्मने नमः। अथ श्रीमद्भगवद्गीता एकादशोऽध्यायः विश्वरूपसन्दर्शनयोगः। अर्जुन उवाच मदनुग्रहाय परमं गुह्यमध्यात्मसङ्गितं यत्त्वयोक्तं वचस्तेन मोहोऽयं विगतो मम भवाप्ययौ हि भूतानां श्रुतौ विस्तरशो मया त्वत्तः कमलपत्राक्ष माहात्म्यमपि चाव्ययम् एवमेतत् यथा तत्त्वम् आत्मानं परमेश्वर द्रष्टुमिच्छामि ते रूपम् ऐश्वरं पुरुषोत्तम मन्यसे यदि तच्छक्यं मया द्रष्टुमिति प्रभो योगेश्वर ततो मे त्वं दर्शयात्मानमव्ययम्। श्रीभगवानुवाच पश्य मे पार्थरूपाणि शतशोथसहस्रशः नानाविधानि दिव्यानि नानावर्णाकृतीनि च पश्यादित्यान् वसून् रुद्रान् अश्विनौ मरुतस्तथा बहून्यदृष्टपूर्वाणि पश्याश्चर्याणि भारत इहैकस्थं जगत्कृत्स्नं पश्याद्य सचराचरं मम देहे गुडाकेश यच्चान्यद्द्रष्टुमिच्छसि न तु मां शक्यसे द्रष्टुम् अनेनैव स्वचक्षुषा दिव्यं ददामि ते चक्षुः पश्य मे योगमैश्वरम्। संजय उवाच एवमुक्त्वा ततो राजन् महायोगेश्वरो हरिः दर्शयामास पार्थाय परमं रूपमैश्वरम् अनेकवक्त्रनयनम् अनेकाद्भुतदर्शनम् अनेकदिव्याभरणम् दिव्यानेकोद्यतायुधम्. Om Tat Sat.
Hari Om. Brahmaraji, you want me to share the screen?
I can share the screen, Bella.
Okay. Okay.
Just give me one minute. I'll share it. So today we begin chapter 11, which is the yoga of the vision of the cosmic form. In the last verse of the 10th chapter, Bhagavan said, I remain with one part of me pervading the entire universe. Ekam Shena Aham Stitaha. On the basis of this, there is a new request by Arjuna. When Bhagavan says, I remain in the form of this entire world, naturally Arjuna wonders whether this is literally so. He has heard about what happened when Yashoda asked Krishna to open his mouth upon finding him eating mud. She saw within the mouth of Krishna the child, the entire Jagat. Now, Arjuna wants to know if he can see the entire cosmic form, Vishwarupa, within the form of Krishna who is standing in front of him. To understand this cosmic form properly, we should understand Ishvara's form. As we have seen, Ishvara can be viewed from different standpoints. The essential nature is Chaitanya, Brahma, the truth of Ishvara and of the Jiva. The Jiva's essential Swarupa is Satchit Anandam Advayam Brahma, and the Swarupa of Ishvara is the same Brahman. This is one level of appreciation of Ishvara. Then there is another level of appreciation. Ishvara as the same Brahman conditioned by Maya as the one who is the Jagat Karana. Definitely, pure limitless consciousness, Brahman, cannot be Jagat Karana unless there is some other power available for that Brahman. As a Jiva looking at this universe, I naturally seek the cause. Shruti reveals that the cause is Brahman, not pure Brahman, but Brahman with a certain power. In order for Brahman as Ishvara to have the status of creator of everything, omniscience and appropriate power are necessary. Appropriate power means a power in keeping with the nature of the Jagat. Whatever is the order of reality of the world, the same should be the order of reality of the power that creates it. Whatever is the order of reality of the world, the same should be the order of reality of the power that creates it. When we analyze this creation, we find it is mithya, and therefore there must be a mithya power which has created it. That power is called Maya. Mithyatvat, Mithyatva is defined as Adhishtana Ananyatva. That is, anything that is mithya has no independent existence. It always depends on the adhishtana on which it seems to exist. For example, in the ocean, the waves that we see can be said to be mithya. The water is their adhishtana. The wave has no existence apart from the water. This nature of being not different from the adhishtana is called adhishtana ananyatva. So that means the mithya creation by definition has no independent existence apart from Brahman. Its cause, Maya, also fulfills this definition, being not independent of Brahman. Since I see a Jagat here, Brahman, seemingly conditioned by Maya, is looked upon as Jagat Karana. How do we know? The pramana for it is only the Shruti. That Brahman is the cause of creation is revealed by the Shastra. And it also reveals that you are that Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. You can have an immediate appreciation, a paroksha jnana of this. Then the problem is to account for the world. For the creation of this world, there must be an inherent power which has the same degree of reality as the Jagat. That Brahman gains the status of the Jagat Karana through an inherent power Maya is also known for certain only through Shastra, though the existence of the power Maya can also be accepted by a supporting inference. Therefore, the same Chaitanya, which is the common basis for Ishvara and the Jiva, must have Maya to make it the cause for the creation. In so many words, the Shruti says, may one know that Maya is the material cause that undergoes a parinama, change, to become this Jagat. And this Maya has no independent existence of its own. It is Brahmashraya. Therefore, the Shruti says, Mayam tu prakritim vidyat, Mayinam tu Maheshwaram. The footnote there reads, this is from the Shvetashvaropanishad. Mayam tu prakritim vidyat, Mayinam tu Maheshwaram. I find this Jagat is mithya, and for that, there must be a mithya karana. This is an anumana, inference, and it helps us to assimilate what the Shruti says. So when he says the same order of reality, since the Jagat is mithya, the cause of that Jagat also should be mithya, the same order of reality. So therefore, Maya, which is the cause of this Jagat, is also mithyakar, is a mithya. And that is an anumana, that is an inference. So this helps us assimilate what the Shruti says. Thus, we have two forms of Ishvara. One is Shuddha Chaitanya, pure, limitless consciousness. The second, Maya Avachinna Chaitanya. Is there a third? If Chaitanya is the Swarupa, which is Ishvara, that Swarupa is also available here as a Jiva. Consciousness obtaining in your Antahkarana, in other words, conditioned by your Antahkarana, is called Jiva. Therefore, Antahkarana Avichinna Chaitanya is another form of Ishvara. Chaitanya, conditioned by the Antahkarana, is an individual knower, Pramata. This is another Rupa. So I will repeat this paragraph again. Thus, we have two forms of Ishvara. One is the Shuddha Chaitanya, pure, limitless consciousness. The second is Maya Avachinna Chaitanya. Is there a third? If Chaitanya is the Swarupa, which is Ishvara, that Swarupa is also available here as a Jiva. Consciousness obtaining in your Antahkarana, in other words, conditioned by your Antahkarana, is called Jiva. So the individual Jiva is the consciousness which is conditioned by the individual Antahkarana. So that is the third aspect of Ishvara. Chaitanya, conditioned by the Antahkarana, is an individual knower, Pramata. This is another Rupa. We also have avatars like Rama, Krishna, etc. Whether they existed or not, the concept of Ishvara assuming a particular form is what we call avatara. Krishna, Rama, etc. are all avatars of Ishvara. Without the form of Krishna being a Jiva, it is a special form assumed by Ishvara as a result of the prayers of many people asking for action to be taken in a particular situation. We saw in the 4th chapter that in response to their prayers, Ishvara himself, through his own Maya, assumes a form suitable for the occasion. That is Avatara, another form of Ishvara. Then we have Vishwarupa, which is Ishvara from the standpoint of the physical universe. If you look upon this entire creation as the form, the body of Ishvara, we have what we call Virat, Chaitanya in the form of cosmos, called the cosmic person. How do you know that Ishvara is in the form of Virat? You see the Jagat directly. It is known to you immediately, Pratyaksha. But that it is Ishvara is not known, because even though the Jagat is Pratyaksha, Ishvara is not. Therefore, that the Jagat is Ishvara has to be understood only from the Shastra. Because of the appreciation of the cause, Karana, being both efficient and material, Nimitta and Upadana, there is appreciation of Ishvara. And you also understand that Ishvara as Chaitanya is the Upadana Karana that undergoes no change whatsoever. It is the Vivarta Upadana Karana. And you understand from the Shastra that the Maya, the Shakti of Ishvara, undergoes all the changes and is the Parinami Upadana Karana. Thus, you understand that this Jagat, which is Pratyaksha, is only the form of Ishvara. Just going back, there are therefore 4 forms of Ishvara. 4, in fact 5, right? So the first one is Shuddha Chaitanya, which is pure limitless consciousness. Then the second is the Maya Avachinna Chaitanya, the one that is conditioned by Maya. The third is that which is conditioned by individual antakarana that becomes the jiva. And then we have the avatars like Rama, Krishna, etc., which are particular forms that Ishvara assumes based upon the prayers of which is the result of the prayers of many people asking for action to be taken. When there is so much of evil going around and bhaktas are praying, and the collective form of that prayer becomes culminates in an avatar. So Ishvara, through his own Maya, assumes a form suitable for that occasion. So that is Avatara, which is another form of Ishvara. So this is the fourth form of Ishvara. Then we have the Vishwarupa, which is Ishvara from the standpoint of the physical universe. If you look upon this entire creation as the form, the body of Ishvara, we have what we call Virat. Chaitanya in the form of cosmos, called the cosmic person. How do you know that Ishvara is in the form of Virat? You see the Jagat directly. It is known to you immediately, Pratyaksha. But that it is Ishvara is not known, because even though the Jagat is Pratyaksha, Ishvara is not. Therefore, that the Jagat is Ishvara has to be understood only from the Shastra. So you need a pramana for that the Jagat is Ishvara. Because of the appreciation of the cause, Karana, being both efficient and material, Nimitta and Upadana, there is appreciation of Ishvara. And you also understand that Ishvara as Chaitanya is the Upadana Karana. That is the efficient cause that undergoes no change whatsoever. It is the Vivarta Upadana Karana. It is like that anvil, unchangeable. It doesn't change. And you understand from the Shastra that the Maya, the Shakti of Ishvara, undergoes all the changes and is the Parinami Upadana Karana, the one that continually changes. That is the Parinami Upadana Karana. Thus, you understand that this Jagat, which is Pratyaksha, is only the form of Ishvara. So this is the fifth form. Here Arjuna wants to see the cosmic form, because Bhagavan said at the end of the last chapter, pervading the entire universe with one pada, I remain. Arjuna wants to see that cosmic form of Ishvara. When the cosmos is right there in front of him, why should he want to see the cosmic form? What he means is that he wants to see Ishvara in the form of this entire Jagat all at once. Normally, you see one thing at one place and time. That is not the cosmic form. You are limited by your own capacities of perception. So, all you see are limited entities. And that too, some of them are seen wrongly, like the blue sky, which is an illusion. Further, anything that is seen only partially. When you see the front of it, you do not see the back. And what is out of sight is out of mind. That means you only see one thing at a time. Where is the possibility of seeing the cosmos? Arjuna, like a child, now wants to see the entire cosmic form. He wants to know whether in one form he can see what is behind, what is in front, what is on the left, what is on the right, and what is beyond the sky, all that is in heaven, etc. It is the desire of a child. In fact, Arjuna thought, why not see this? For which, of course, Arjuna's eyes are not adequate. Since it is visual perception, he must be given a different type of eye, Divya Chakshus. Perhaps it is some sort of inner eye, but whatever it is possible through Ishvara's Maya alone. And Krishna reveals this cosmic form to him. We can take it as something that happened or simply as a presentation of the subject matter showing that nothing is away from Ishvara. Virat means Vividham Rajate, the one who appears in varieties of forms. That single form, which includes all forms, is called the cosmic form, Virat Swarupa. It establishes that nothing is outside Ishvara, and upon appreciating that, you discover in yourself a devotion to Ishvara. This is the topic of the next chapter, Bhakti Yoga. I will repeat these few lines. Virat means Vividham Rajate, the one who appears in varieties of forms. That single form, which includes all forms, is called the cosmic form, Virat Swarupa. It establishes that nothing is outside Ishvara, and upon appreciating that, you discover in yourself a devotion to Ishvara. This is the topic of the next chapter, Bhakti Yoga. Because of the appreciation of this cosmic form, you can understand that Bhagavan is in charge of everything. This does not mean you do not take responsibility for what you do, what you are. In fact, the law of karma helps you take responsibility for your lot, your parentage, etc., and happily accept it, not passing the blame to anybody. You accept responsibility for what you are because of past deeds. Other forces might have contributed to what you are, but at the same time, you understand that you have a free will. You can add to or reorganize yourself, be an emotionally fragile person or a person who refuses to be fragile. All this is in your hands. At the same time, as an individual jiva, you are not in total control. I will repeat this, the last few lines. So because of the appreciation of this cosmic form, you understand that Bhagavan is in charge of everything. This does not mean you do not take responsibility for what you do, what you are. In fact, the law of karma helps you take responsibility for your lot, your parentage, etc., and happily accept it, not passing the blame to anybody. You accept responsibility for what you are because of past deeds. Other forces might have contributed to what you are, but at the same time, you understand that you have a free will. You can add to or reorganize yourself. Be an emotionally fragile person or a person who refuses to be fragile. All this is in your hands. At the same time, as an individual jiva, you are not in total control. We understand this by in Karma Yoga. Whatever you do, karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Right? This appreciation of the cosmic form does create a reverence for Ishvara. It is described very beautifully and poetically here, creating a word picture that brings all the heavens down within your perception, all the heavens and the people therein in one huge is not the word, one cosmic form. It includes everything. In spite of that, Arjuna somehow misunderstood and sees himself as an individual separate from the whole. This we understand because he gets frightened. So this whole chapter is about appreciation of the cosmic form. And what does this do? It creates a reverence for Ishvara, which is Bhakti Yoga. It is described very beautifully and poetically here, creating a word picture that brings all the heavens down within your perception. All the heavens and the people therein in one huge is not the word, one cosmic form. It includes everything. In spite of that, Arjuna somehow misunderstood and sees himself as an individual separate from the whole. This we understand because he gets frightened. Seeing the form, he finds the wheel of time destroying everybody. In the description, there is a continuous dissolution, samhara, and evolution, srishti, going on. If you see all this, it is something like seeing the microscopic changes that take place in your own body as it ages. You will be frightened at all that takes place. This is what happens to Arjuna. When he sees this cosmic form, he finds all the people within the jaws of death because Lord Death itself is Bhagavan. They're all being masticated in the jaws of death, the process of change. He finds them sticking within the grip of his big mouth. He finds them sticking within the grip of this big mouth. There he sees the battlefield, his own people, and all the people he thought were outside of him. All of them he finds within one form. Nothing is outside. But somehow Arjuna manages to see himself separate from the cosmic form and therefore got frightened. To say, I am this cosmic form, you have to see from the standpoint of Satchit Ananda Atma. Otherwise, it becomes purely magic, as it is for Arjuna. This magical vision of the cosmic person is created purely by the grace of Krishna. After seeing this, he says, Bhagavan, I am really frightened. So please assume your old form. As he requests, Krishna comes back to the smiling, easily manageable form that he was. Otherwise, how will you manage this Krishna? Whom will you address? What will you call him? So he comes back to the particular form that Arjuna and others were used to. So I would repeat this beginning of this para. To say, I am this cosmic form, you have to see from the standpoint of Satchit Ananda Atma. Otherwise, it becomes purely magic, as it is for Arjuna. This magical vision of the cosmic person is created purely by the grace of Krishna. After seeing this, he says, Bhagavan, I'm really frightened. So please assume your old form. And as he requests, Krishna comes back to the smiling, easily manageable form that he was. Otherwise, how will you manage this Krishna? Whom will you address? What will you call him? So, he comes back to the particular form that Arjuna and others were used to. This is the sum and substance of the 11th chapter. Shankara introduces it, saying that the glories of Bhagavan have been told. Though only a few of them were mentioned, the list was complete enough to appreciate the magnitude of Bhagavan's glory. Arjuna's attention was caught by Krishna saying, 1/4 of me pervades the entire world. If the whole world is nothing but a quarter of Ishvara, 3/4 remain hidden. This has to be understood. As only the tip of an iceberg is visible while the rest is underwater, so too here, only this much is visible. The part that is not visible is the infinite nature of Atma, which obtains in the buddhi as aham. That you have to understand. Arjuna wants to visually see the cosmic form. You can see through words, but Arjuna wants to see with his own eyes. So, as only the tip of an iceberg is visible, so Krishna says, only 1/4 of me pervades the entire world, the visible world. So, if the whole world is nothing but 1/4 of Ishvara, 3/4 remain hidden. I mean, we just have to expand our imagination, and what we think we see the world is also a minutesimal part of the entire visible world. That itself we are not able to comprehend. What to talk, that is only 1/4 of Ishvara's, he pervades only 1/4 of the world that way. 3/4 is not visible. As only the tip of an iceberg is visible while the rest is underwater, so too here, only this much is visible. The part that is not visible is the infinite nature of Atma, which obtains in the buddhi as aham. That you have to understand. Arjuna wants to visually see the cosmic form. You can see through words, but Arjuna wants to see with his own eyes. Desiring to see Bhagwan in the form of this Jagat, since he had said that he exists in the form of Jagat, Arjuna said, Arjuna uvacha madanugrahaya paramam guhyamadhyatma sangitam yatvayoktam vachastena mohoyam vigato mama. Arjuna uvacha. Arjuna said, Madanugrahaya, to bless me, Paramam Guhyam, the greatest secret, Adhyatma Sangitam, known as knowledge centered on the self, Yat Vachaha Tvaya Uktam, which words were taught by you, Tena, on account of those words, Mama Mohaha Ayam, that this delusion of mine, Vigataha, is gone. So Arjuna Uvacha, Madanugrahaya Paramam Guhyam Adhyatma Sangitam Yat Vachaha Tvaya Uktam Tena Mama Mohaha Ayam Vigataha. Arjuna said, on account of these words which were taught by you, in order to bless me with the greatest secret known as knowledge centered on the self, this delusion of mine is gone. So this is after Krishna talks of the 10th chapter, Vibhuti Yoga. In the beginning of the 2nd chapter, Arjuna offered himself as a Shishya and then pleaded with Lord Krishna to bless him with liberation. Yat Shreyaha Syat Nishchitam Bruhi Tanme Shishyaste Aham. Arjuna knew what he was asking for. Bhagwan also taught him without any reservation. At this stage, having listened to all this, Arjuna says, Madanugrahaya, to bless me, Yat Tvaya Uktam, what was taught by you, is Paramam Guhyam, the greatest secret. This is so because it is not available by any other means of knowledge except the Shastra. Even if the means of knowledge is available, Atma can remain Guhya because our whole orientation is to look outwards. A lot of things are hidden, not known. But what value do they have to you? Here, it is Parama Guhya. There is nothing comparable to it in terms of value. It is a hidden treasure. Adhyatma Sangita means that which is known as self-knowledge, Atma Vidya. This is the greatest hidden treasure. And it was taught to me by you, Tvaya Uktam. Uktam is not simply told, but taught. By these words, Tena Vachasa, by your words, my delusion about what is Atma, what is Anatma is gone. Mohaha ayam vigataha mama. Self-knowledge is nothing but viveka, a discriminate knowledge of Atma and Anatma. Arjuna's delusion about what is Atma and Anatma, what is Dharma and Adharma, expressed as sorrow and conflict over all the people he was going to destroy, has now gone away more or less. After these 9 chapters, a good part of his delusion is gone, but still he has questions to ask. Arjuna says, Mohaha ayam vigataha mama. And Shankara explains that statement by saying, Aviveka buddhi apagata. The aviveka buddhi is gone. It does not mean that discrimination is complete, just that aviveka buddhi is gone. There is discrimination. Arjuna cannot say anymore, I am an aviveki, but his viveka seems to suffer from some inhibiting factors. So what is important here is that although he says, Tvaya Uktam, what was taught by you, this greatest secret, because why is this the greatest secret? Because it is not available by any other means of knowledge except the Shastra. And even if the means of knowledge is available, Atma can still remain Guhya. One might only have, like how we are having this Parokshanubhuti, we are only having a conceptual knowledge. It can still remain Guhya because our whole orientation is to look outwards. Only when we start looking inwards and do that Nididhyasana, can that actually come to our experience as Aparokshanubhuti. Because remember, Swamiji mentioned Aham. That is the 3/4 of that infinite part that is not visible, that remains in the buddhi as Aham. So when we look inwards, that is when that becomes evident. A lot of things are hidden, not known. But what value do they have to you? Here, it is Parama Guhya. There is nothing comparable to it in terms of value. It is a hidden treasure. Adhyatma Sangitam means that which is known as self-knowledge, Atma Vidya. This is the greatest hidden treasure. And it was taught to me by you, Tvaya Uktam. Uktam is not simply told, but taught. By these words, Tena Vachasa, by your words, my delusion about what is Atma, what is Anatma is gone. Mohaha ayam vigataha mama. Self-knowledge is nothing but viveka, a discriminate knowledge of Atma and Anatma. Arjuna's delusion. So, what is self-knowledge? This is another understanding of what self-knowledge is. Self-knowledge is nothing but viveka, a discriminate knowledge of Atma and Anatma. Arjuna's delusion about what is Atma and Anatma, what is Dharma and Adharma, expressed as sorrow and conflict over all the people he was going to destroy. That was his initial delusion, has now gone away more or less. After these 9 chapters, A good part of his delusion is gone, but still he has questions to ask. So there is still some lingering doubts and questions. Arjuna says, Mohaha ayam vigataha mama. And Shankara explains that statement by saying, Aviveka buddhihi apagata. The aviveka buddhi is gone. It does not mean that discrimination is complete, just that aviveka buddhi is gone. There is discrimination. Arjuna cannot say anymore, I am an aviveki, but his viveka seems to suffer from some inhibiting factors. Bhavapyayau hi bhutanam shrutau vistarasho maya tvattah kamalapatraksha mahatmyamapi chavyayam. Bhava apyayauhi. Indeed, the creation and dissolution. Bhutanam, of things. Shrutau, have been heard. Vistarashaha, in detail. Maya, by me. Tvattaha, from you. Kamalapatraksha, Krishna, whose eyes are like the lotus petal. Avyayam, Mahatmyam apicha. And also your perennial glory was heard. Bhava apyayauhi bhutanam shrutau vistarashaha maya tvattah kamalapatraksha avyayam mahatmyam apicha. Indeed, the creation and dissolution of things. So bhava is creation, apyaya is dissolution. Bhavapyayauhi. Indeed, the creation and dissolution. Indeed, the creation and dissolution of things have been heard in detail by me from you, O Krishna, whose eyes are like the lotus petal, and also your perennial glory was heard. Arjuna addresses Krishna here as Kamala Patraksha, a very nice expression. Kamala can mean the whole lotus, but here it means lotus flower, and patra is a petal. A lotus petal is very soft and shaped like an eye. Thus, eyes that are soft and pleasing are likened to the Kamala Patra. So Krishna is addressed as the one whose eyes are like the petal of the lotus, very clear and soft. You can look at it another way also. This is the fun of Sanskrit scholars. Ka means Sukha, and here it refers to Brahma Sukha, Ananda, obtaining as the Swarupa of Atma, Brahman. Then, Kam Alati iti Kamalaha means the one that illumines, reveals the Brahma Sukha. So Kamala is that which reveals the Ananda, the self. It is self-knowledge. Patra means the one who protects one from falling. Patanat trayate iti patra. Here, self-knowledge saves the person from samsara. That is, Kamala Patra means the self-knowledge that saves you from samsara. Then, akshayate iti akshaha. What is gained, understood. Ishvara is understood only by self-knowledge. There is no other way. He is the one who is accomplished as oneself. Therefore, the one who is accomplished by that self-knowledge which reveals Ananda and saves you from samsara is called Kamala Patraksha, Ishvara. Though this sounds far-fetched, it is possible in Sanskrit to find such a meaning. If there is a possible meaning and it does not hurt the Shastra, It is fun to explore that. So I will read this other meaning of Kamala Patraksha. The one direct meaning is, the obvious meaning is one who is lotus-eyed. The lotus petal is supposed to be very soft and clear. So Krishna's eyes are like the petal, the lotus petal. Whereas there is another meaning, another interpretation. Ka means sukha. And here it refers to Brahma Sukha. Ananda, be obtaining as the Swarupa of Atma, Brahman. Then, Kam alati iti kamalaha means the one that illumines, reveals the Brahma Sukha. So what is Kamala? Kamala is Kam alati iti kamalaha. The one that illumines this Brahma Sukha is Kamala. So Kamala is that which reveals the Ananda, the self. It is self-knowledge. So then what is Patra? Patra means the one who protects one from falling. Patanat trayate. Like how mantra is Mananat trayate iti. So Patra is Patanat trayate. Here self-knowledge saves the person from samsara. That is, Kamala Patra means the self-knowledge that saves you from samsara. What a lovely interpretation of the actual direct meaning. Then, akshayate iti akshaha. What is gained, understood. Ishvara is understood only by self-knowledge. There is no other way. He is the one who is accomplished as oneself. Therefore, the one who is accomplished by that self-knowledge, which reveals Ananda and saves you from samsara, is called Kamala Patraksha. That is Ishvara. So the one who is accomplished by that self-knowledge, that is that akshate. Akshate iti akshaha, what is understood and gained. So the one who is accomplished by that self-knowledge, which reveals Ananda, Kamala, that is the Kamala, saves you from samsara, is called Kamala Patraksha. This sounds far-fetched. It is possible in Sanskrit to find such a meaning, though it sounds far-fetched. If there is a possible meaning and it does not hurt the Shastra, it is fun to explore that. That's exactly what Shankara did all through. The chapter deals with Ishvara in a form in which everything here is included. There is nothing outside Vishwarupa, the cosmic form. Therefore, there is going to be a lot of poetry here. And from that standpoint, it is a very interesting chapter. For devotees committed to duality, this is the greatest chapter. For a jignasu, it is something that has to be understood properly. The cosmic form, Virat, includes all details. Previously, Bhagavan said that he is manifest in each form. Now, in one form, everything is included. In the Vibhuti Yoga, he was mentioning in what all forms he is available, he is there. Whereas here in the Vishwarupa Sandarshana Yoga, in one form, he shows everything. As the string runs through all the beads, includes all of them and holds them all together, Sutre Manigana Iva. Similarly, Ishvara is in and through every being. Any glory manifest anywhere belongs to him. Now here, in one cosmic form, everything is included. There, the immanence of the Lord was pointed out, and here it is the very form of the Lord which includes all the forms. Arjuna says, two things were heard by me, Bhava and Apyaya of the Bhutas. Bhava means creation, Apyaya is dissolution. Both the creation and dissolution of all the beings, Bhutanam Bhavapyayav, have been heard of by me. The creation and dissolution of the Sthula and Sukshma Upadis, and also the Panchabhutas, Akasha, Vayu, Agni, Apa, Prithvi, were heard. How? In detail. Vistarashaha. From whom? From you, Tvattaha. Because of your grace, I could hear all these from you, O Lord, not briefly, but in detail. Because in all these chapters, from the 7th chapter onwards, Bhagavan's glory has been told by Bhagavan himself. The process of creation, the dissolution, death, what happens after death, everything has been discussed. Then further, Mahatmyam cha avyayam, endless glories were also heard. Mahatma means the one whose Atma is Mahan. He is all pervasive. It refers to Ishvara here. Mahatmya means the nature of the one who is Mahatma, that is, the glory of Ishvara. Therefore, Arjuna says here, your glory I have been hearing in all these chapters, and it is also Avyaya. Avyaya is something that does not decline. The word Avyaya does not mean eternal here, but perennial. In every creation, it keeps coming again and again. Your glory, your Aishwarya, is not subject to destruction. It is Avyaya. Ishvara's qualities are absolute and therefore not subject to time. The word Shruta here is to be added here to complete the sentence. Mahatmyam cha avyayam shrutam. Arjuna makes his request explicit in the next verse. एवमेतद्यथा तत्त्वम् आत्मानं परमेश्वरा द्रष्टुमिच्छामि ते रूपम् ऐश्वरं पुरुषोत्तमा yatha, just as tvam atha, you tell atmanam, about yourself, parameshwara, O Lord, evam, in the same manner, etat, this, drashtumichhami, I wish to see, te rupam aishwaram, your form as the Lord, purushottama, most exalted among beings. Yatha tvam atha, atmanam parameshwara, evam etat drashtumichhami, te rupam aishwaram, purushottama. Just as you have been telling about yourself, O Lord, in the same manner as this, I wish to see this form of yours as the Lord, O Purushottama. Parameshwara yathatvam atmanam evam etad atha. O Lord, just as you have been talking to me about yourself in this manner, the word parama means not limited by time, space, or object. And Ishvara is the one who is the cause, the Lord of everything. Evam etat means this is indeed so. Yathatvam atmanam atha. Just as you have been telling me about yourself, just as you have revealed yourself. Arjuna tells the Lord, this form of yourself about which you're talking to me, I totally accept as true. Shankara adds, na anyatha, exactly in this manner, not in any other manner. Arjuna is saying, I see that what you say is true and I accept it. I accept because I understand. That is what is conveyed here. It is not that Arjuna is trying to validate Lord Krishna. When you said of yourself, I am this, I am that, etc., you told of your immanence. And I would like to see that form, says Arjuna. Again, Arjuna uses the vocative when he says Purushottama, because he is imploring. He addresses Krishna as the one who is Purusha and Uttama, the most exalted of all beings. Krishna's form is also Bhagavan's form. And so he says, O Purushottama, I would like to see that Aishwaram Rupam of yours. Shankara says that Bhagavan's form is endowed with knowledge, overlordship, strength, creative power, and glory. Jnana Aishwarya Shakti Bala Virya Tejobhihi Sampannam Aishwaram Rupam. This is the 6 qualities of Bhagavan, attributes of Bhagavan, right? The glories. This is another definition of Bhagavan and in the tradition which Shankara uses here. We have seen another popular definition of the word Bhagavan earlier. This is, let me see what that is. Refer to the definition of the word Bhagavan, page 24, volume 1. That is what in the introduction to Gita, he gives the definition of Bhagavan as absolute power, absolute strength, absolute dispassion, absolute prosperity, and absolute knowledge. So here it is, Jnana Aishwarya Shakti Bala Virya Tejobhihi Sampannam Aishwaram Rupam. This is another definition of Bhagavan in the tradition which Shankara uses here. We have seen another popular definition of the word Bhagavan earlier. This is the Aishwarya that belongs to Ishvara, the Lord's form. That I want to see. Drashtum ichchami. Arjuna knows that this is a good opportunity to ask Lord Krishna to show his cosmic form. But he is a little doubtful about whether Bhagavan will reveal it or not. And that doubt is expressed in the next verse. Anybody wants a repeat of anything, please stop me. I'm just going forward, but you can stop me in case you want any repeat. Manyase yadi tachakyam maya drashtumiti prabho yogeshvara tato me tvam darshayatmanam avyayam. Yadi, if manyase, you consider, tat, that form, maya, by me, drashtum shakyamiti, is possible to be seen, prabho, O Lord, yogeshvara, Lord of the yogis, tataha, then, te tvam darshaya, you please show me, atmanam, yourself, avyayam, who is perennially eternal. Yadi manyase tat maya drashtum shakyamiti prabho yogeshvara tatah me tvam darshaya atmanam avyayam. If you think it is possible for me, O Lord, to see that form of yours, then, O Lord of the yogis, please show me your perennially eternal self. Arjuna wants to see, but then the choice, of course, is left to Bhagavan. When people know they are asking too much, they always start with, if it is not too much to ask. It is a prelude to asking for a lot. Similarly, Arjuna says, if you consider it is possible for me to see that form, O Lord, manyase yadi maya tad drashtum shakyam iti prabho. He knows he is not qualified because the ordinary eyes he has are not enough. Some extra eye may be necessary to see the cosmic form, and that is what Arjuna is implicitly requesting here. He addresses Krishna as Prabhu. Prabhu is the Lord who gives everything. You will find this chapter is full of the vocative case. Vocative is the when you're addressing someone. Again, he says Yogeshwara, the one who is the Lord among the yogis. A yogi is one who has accomplished the end called moksha, accomplished by the sannyasis. The one who has that yoga is called yogi. There are many yogis, and Krishna is called the Lord of all of them. He is the most exalted yogi, the one who keeps the yoga maya, the maya of the Lord, under his control. So Prabhu is what? Prabhu is the one, is the Lord who gives everything. So Arjuna has chosen his words very appropriately. And Yogeshwara. Yogeshwara is the Lord of all the yogis. Why? Because he keeps the yoga maya, the maya of the Lord, under his control. Any yogi at the very least keeps his body under control. That is asana siddhi. Then his health can be maintained and senses, etc., can be kept under control by yama, niyata, pranayama, prayata, dharayan, dhyana, and samadhi. This Ashtanga yoga will help him to achieve self-mastery. As a person, he is together. Then certain innate powers in the Maya, like Anima, Garima, Laghima, etc., can be kept under control, for which there is a Siddhi Prakarana in the Yoga Sutras. Such people seem to have existed only in earlier times. But among those people who had a few things under control, Lord Krishna is the one who has everything under control. He is Mayavi, the one who wields the Yoga Maya. He has said so himself. Atma Mayaya Aham Sambhavam. Atma Mayaya Aham Sambhavami. With the help of Maya, I come into being in this particular form. Therefore, when Arjuna addresses Krishna as Yogeshwara, it looks like a very consciously chosen word. Since you are Yogeshwara, you can, after all, lend some of your powers to me so that I can see your glorious form. So, if you think it is possible, then Tataha, for my sake, please show me Darshaya, your own self, Atmanam, which is Avyaya Aishwaram Rupam, the perennially eternal form of the Lord, says Arjuna. Even though the time-bound Jagat is subject to dissolution, it comes back again and again. Therefore, it is Avyaya, eternal. Now that Arjuna has made this request, Krishna has to decide whether to grant it or not. He can refuse and change the subject, but he seems to see it as a good teaching opportunity, another method of revealing his cosmic form. So far, he has only been speaking, but here is a chance to use a visual device. And he thought that it would be good for Arjuna. When Arjuna said in the first chapter, I don't want to cause all these problems. I will be incurring sin. He showed an inflated sense of his role in all of this. He had a lot of doership, Arjuna. because he was thinking he's the cause for all the problems. So Krishna perhaps thinks this is a good occasion to demonstrate how there is only one Purusha and everything else is Prakriti. That one Purusha is Purushottama, which happens to be the Atma. That is what the entire Shastra is saying. There is no second thing. Arjuna's protests, again engaging in battle, thinking that he would incur sin, etc., are all going to be answered simply by this visual teaching. Bhagavan anticipates this and therefore decides to show him his form. Decides to show him this form. So we'll just begin with Bhagavan and then we'll break for Manana. Shri Bhagavan Pashya me partha rupani shatashodha sahasrashaha nana vidhani divyani nana varna kritini cha. Shri Bhagavan, the Lord said, Uvacha said, Pashya, see, Partha, Arjuna, me rupani, my forms, shatashaha, in hundreds, atha, then, sahasrashaha, in thousands, nana vidhani, of many varieties, divyani, effulgent, nana varna akritini cha, and of many colors and forms. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Pashya Partha, me rupani, shatashaha, atha, sahasrashaha, nana vidhani divyani, nana varna akritini cha. Shri Bhagavan said, see Arjuna, hundreds and thousands of my forms of many varieties, effulgent and of many colors and shapes. We'll just do these two paras and we'll close. Bhagavan says, Pashya, look, but he does not show his form immediately. So, this is only an introduction to the topic. When he says, look, here, he means you are going to see. That is the sense in which it is used here. It means you are qualified and you are now going to see. Therefore, Pashya, please look. Bhagavan says, arresting Arjuna's attention, and he addresses him as Kunti's son Partha. What should he see? Me rupani, my forms, which are hundreds, shatashaha, and thousands, sahasrashaha, in number. The words 100 and 1,000 are not to be taken literally. They have the meaning of countless, amita. And not only are they numerous in terms of quantity, they are of infinite variety. Nana vidhani, forms with all different features. Then again, they include not only what you can know here, but what you can never imagine. Divyani, things that are in heaven and other lokas. Not only are they of all different features, but different types of physics. Akriti. You have seen only the animals and human beings which exist on this planet. Even on this planet, there are so many tribes of people and species of animals which you have not seen. You will see varieties of forms in me right now. Don't think that you're going to see only local things. You will see all sorts of other things that you have never seen, says Bhagavan, arresting Arjuna's attention. We will stop here. This is verse number 6. We'll continue tomorrow. I will just chant these verses one more time, read the meaning, and then we'll do Manana. Arjuna Vacha Madanugrahaya Paramam Guhyamadhyatma Sangitam Yatvayoktam vachastena mohoyam vigato mama. Arjuna said, on account of these words which were taught by you, in order to bless me with the greatest secret, known as knowledge centered on the self, this delusion of mine is gone. Then, bhavapyayau hi bhutanam shrutau vistarasho maya tvattah kamalapatraksha mahatmyamapi chavyayam. Indeed, the creation and dissolution of things have been heard in detail by me from you, O Krishna, whose eyes are like the lotus petal, and also your perennial glory was heard. एवमेतद्यथा तत्त्वम् आत्मानं परमेश्वर द्रष्टुमिच्छामि ते रूपम् ऐश्वरं पुरुषोत्तमा. Just as you have been telling about yourself, O Lord, in the same manner as this, I wish to see this form of yours as the Lord, O Purushottama. मन्यसे यदि तच्चक्यं मया द्रष्टुमिति प्रभो योगेश्वर ततो मे त्वं दर्शयात्मानमव्ययम्. If you think it is possible for me, O Lord, to see that form of yours, then, O Lord of the yogis, please show me your perennially eternal self. Shri Bhagavanuvacha Pashya me partharupani shatashodha sahasrashaha nana vidhani divyani nana varnakritini cha. Shri Bhagavan said, see Arjuna, hundreds and thousands of my forms of many varieties, effulgent and of many colors and shapes. So let's close our eyes and reflect on what we have learned and what we have heard. And let us share our takeaways.
Jai Gurudev. Law of karma is nothing but taking responsibility of your life. This is something, very, very nice.
Although Ishvara is in control of the whole thing, as a jiva, we have that responsibility, the law of karma, like very rightly said, and not to blame others. It is to accept and take responsibility. Because it is up to you whether you want to be a fragile person or not to be a fragile person. Whether to be a vulnerable person or to be someone who will remain strong within no matter what. And what is self-knowledge? Self-knowledge is the discrimination between Atma and Anatma. Arjuna developed only this after listening to all the 9 chapters of or 10 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna declares that Mohoyam Vigato Mama, my delusion is gone. So only his Aviveka, according to Shankara, he says his Aviveka Buddhi Avagata. So his only the Aviveka is gone, but it is not total discrimination still. He still has some doubt. he wants to see all in the Vibhuti Yoga. Krishna talk, Bhagwan talks about how he is manifested in this, this and that, in all the different forms. So now he wants to see all of that in just one form, in one rupa. So he says, if you think I'm eligible to see, or if you think I can see, please show me. Very nicely, Swamiji puts it up. He says, like, he says, when you want to, if you want to know more, you say, oh, if it is not asking too much, actually you're asking too much. So similarly, Arjuna is also requesting Bhagavan, if you think you can show me, please show me your Aishwaram Rupam and the 5 forms of Ishvara. So I will everybody to share as well. Go ahead and share.
Yeah, so this is what I got today, that you can ask Bhagavan anything and he will grant it. And there is a way of asking. So Arjuna's desire to see the Vishwarupa of Bhagavan, and that wish was granted. And the way Arjuna asked, that was so beautiful. This is my takeaway for today. Thank you.
Wow, Sumaji really picked up very beautiful point, which we can apply in our lives also. Not demanding, but prayerful. With prayers, we can always ask, what is the best for me? This can shift lot of things in our day-to-day this thing also.
True, surrender and that real helplessness. That's what I got from this whole Bhagavad Gita. And each time Arjuna started asking Krishna, he was going into that humility more and more, but in a very beautiful way, that what Krishna says, no, that what Guruji says, love as existence. That's what I feel now. Thank you.
For me, this Kamala Patrat Patanatrayate, that was something very.
I think there is some extra sounds coming from, I don't know from where side. I think Madhuri ji, you must have put the YouTube also on, which is why we are able to hear.
Yes. 1 second.
Yeah, we can hear our own echoed voice over there.
Jai Gurudev. That Kamalapatra thing, please explain once again. First time I am hearing this.
Kamalapatraksha is Krishna. Arjuna addresses Krishna as Kamalapatraksha, right? So Kamalapatraksha, the direct meaning is one who is lotus-eyed, who has eyes like the lotus petal. Whereas the implied meaning, ka is self-knowledge. Kamala is the one who reveals that self-knowledge. And patra is patanatrayate iti patra, which is one who prevents you from falling. That is patra. So Kamala Patra, the one who reveals the self-knowledge and prevents you from falling. Aksha is something that is gained. Akshate iti akshayaha, akshaha. So let me just go to that rather than 1 second. There are so many Sanskrit words in this that came up. So, is self-knowledge. Kamala is that which reveals the Ananda, the self. Ka is Sukha, sorry. Ka is Sukha, and here it refers to Brahma Sukha. And Kam Alati iti Kamala means that which illumines, reveals the Brahma Sukha is Kamala. That which reveals the self-knowledge is Kamala. Patra is one who protects one from falling. Patanat Trayate. So here self-knowledge saves the person from samsara. So Kamala Patra means the self-knowledge that saves one from samsara. And Akshate is what is gained, understood. So Ishvara is understood only by self-knowledge. There is no other way. Therefore, the one who is accomplished by that self-knowledge, which reveals Ananda and saves you from samsara, is called Kamala Patraksha, Ishvara.
This is so beautiful, right? But Pundarikaksham is eye also, no? I thought Aksham means eyes.
Aksha is I, correct. That is the direct meaning. That is the factual meaning. But Aksha, the other meaning is what is gained and understood. So Kamala is that Brahma Sukha. Kamala, Ka is Sukha or Brahma Sukha. And Kamala is that which reveals. Kam alati iti Kamala. This is the beauty of Sanskrit language, I think. I think the more we delve into it, when as you're reading itself, then the meaning comes. See, when you're just saying Kamala Patraksha and you're just imagining lotus-eyed one, that is different. I mean, that's also beautiful. It takes you to an elevated space. But when you go one step forward and say that which reveals, that illumines self-knowledge, and it is through that Ishvara is gained, self-knowledge is gained. Patra, that Patanatrayate. So all of this, the samsara, instead of falling back into anatma, you're reveling in the Atma Vishaya, and that is being revealed there. That is gained. Aksha is gained and understood. So then that upliftment goes to a different level altogether, no? Rather than just looking at it as lotus-eyed one. Yeah.
Very beautiful. Thank you.
So anybody else wants to share?
Jai Gurudev, one question I have. The Aksha Patra we heard, is it different from this Akshay Patra?
That is Akshaya Patra. It is not Aksha.
Akshaya.
Akshaya is something that does not decline, that does not, no Kshaya, that doesn't have a,
that does not like
end. It does not.
It is always full, like it's always complete.
Right.
That is
Yeah, that is Akshaya.
Akshaya.
Yeah. This is Aksha. Aksha is I, or it can also mean something that which is gained and understood. Aksha.
Jai Gurudev, can you please explain the 5 forms of divine?
Ishvara, right? Yeah, which is about to. One is the Satchidananda Swarupa, the Advaita part of Ishvara. The second is the Maya Avachinna Swarupa. That is the one when he's conditioned by Maya. That is the second. The third one is when it is conditioned by individual antahkarana. Like that is the jiva aspect of Ishvara. And then the fourth one is when, because of the combined prayers of devotees, it assumes the form of an avatara, like Rama, Krishna, and all of that. That is the fourth one. And then the fifth one is the Virat Swarupa, the cosmic form that includes everything in the universe. So these are the 5 forms of Ishvara that Swamiji so beautifully explained.
How is the second one, the Maya?
Maya Avachina is like the, that you can call it, what is that? Virat or Hiranyagarbha.
Yeah,
It is
that's what I
sum
was
total.
thinking. The
Yeah.
Virat Rupa and this Rupa, how are they different?
I don't know. I don't know, honestly. Here it is a manifest form. I think the cosmic form which is manifest, whereas in the unmanifest form, probably with the power of Maya, that is the Maya Avachinna Ishvara. Ishvara is the creator, so I suppose that is what it is. Because later on he says, what you see is only 1/4 of from the power of Maya, I manifest, and what you see is only 1/4 of that power. 3/4 of the power remains unseen, is not visible. So when you take the whole thing together, that 1/4 and that 3/4 is that Maya Avachinna Swarupa, the second form of Ishvara. Whereas the Virat Swarupa is the one that is visible, which is the cosmic form, which he reveals to Arjuna as the Vishwarupa Sandarshana, right? So I think that may be the difference.
In which category will we categorize these different forms of God, like Ganesh? Then they are also part of Maya,
Yes,
no?
Virat Swarupa.
That is Maya, or that is
Maya. It is all, see,
Maya.
anything you see is Maya. And what was more beautiful was that aham, that 3/4, that all of that is, when you're able to experience that in the buddhi as the aham. That is what our attention and focus should be, isn't it? As long
Can you
as
please repeat that?
outwardly. See, he says somewhere, he says that when he talks of that 3/4 and that 1/4, how do we get to that unseen part? Is where do we experience that? Is in the buddhi, the aham. It exists as the aham. Let me just read exactly what it was said before we close. I think, yeah. So 1/4 of me pervades the entire world. If the whole world is nothing but 1/4 of Ishvara, 3/4 remain hidden. This has to be understood. As only the tip of an iceberg is visible while the rest is underwater, so too here, only this much is visible. The part that is not visible is the infinite nature of Atma, which obtains in the buddhi as aham. That you have to understand. So this aham that is there within, that consciousness, that awareness, that is limited by our antakarna, that is the jiva. So all our journey is from that small I, that jiva, to understand that it is nothing but the big I.
Yeah, here I think they have implied the Brahmasmi Aham, right?
Aham Brahmasmi, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not the small.
Not the small I, not the, no, sorry, I don't get me wrong. When I said small I didn't mean the ego I, the I, my, not that I. What I meant
Jiva.
was jiva. The awareness that is there in the jiva is the same awareness, same consciousness which obtains in the entire jagat. There is only one, basically. If we recollect, who am I, what we read in what Ramana Maharshi gave in that Upadesha Saram, that keep asking, what is it? Who is this? Who is this I? Who is this who's experiencing this? So when you go inward, that is the whole journey. As long as you're going outwardly, you're just getting lost in the samsara. But when you start turning inward and you ask, who is this who is speaking? Who is this who is understanding? Who is this who is asking this question? Then that who am I? Who am I? Just go on with that. Who am I? Then that nijam aham udeti, that will happen. Yeah. So here in this chapter, it is all about the glory, not just the glory, but seeing the whole glory of Bhagwan in one form, in one Virat Swarupa. So we'll continue tomorrow. We'll close today. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.